Hello students. Continuing our lecture on the discussion on the single sideband suppressed carrier modulation. In this lecture, we will discuss about the generation of SSB-SE signal. Now, an SSB-SE signal we had derived earlier, written as AC by 2 mt into cos 2 pi fct and minus plus AC by 2 m hat t into sine 2 pi fc into t. This is the equation where minus sign represents the upper sideband suppressed carrier and plus sign for the lower sideband suppressed carrier signal. So how we are going to generate these signals? So let's say the frequency spectrum of the message signal is represented using the Fourier transform where Fm is the maximum frequency contained in the message signal, right? Now we have two components here. One is the mt, second is the m hat t. So similarly, we had derived the equation or the frequency domain representation of m hat t signal, which we had seen was the Hilbert transform of the message signal, given as in frequency domain it will be simply mf multiplied by minus j sine of f, and the signal this is the representation of this signal m hat t in frequency domain, and this is m0, this is minus m0, and same and so on. This will be plus fm this is plus fm and this will be minus fm. So this component, the cosine component of the SSB-SC in terms of frequency domain can be represented as yes. So for cosine, there will be a translation in the frequency. And its value will be AC by 4 M0, right? Now the second component is m hat t multiplied by sine 2 pi fct. Now let's see. It is mt multiplied by sine 2 pi fc into t. So if we represent the same using the Fourier transform, it will be AC by 4 and of course J that will be capital M hat F minus Fc minus M F plus Fc, right? As you can see here, the F plus Fc component is phase shifted by 180 degree. So if we represent the signal on the frequency domain here, so we can write the same as, now the F minus Fc component will be the same and will be simply shifted by the frequency Fc. So you can simply write here, let's see, so this term will be we write here as this frequency as F plus, sorry, this remains simply as FC. And let us write here FC. This is FC plus Fm. This is FC minus Fm. Similarly, this is minus FC. This is minus FC plus Fm. And this will be minus FC minus Fm. And here in this case, now this component is negative, is 180-degree phase shifted. Then we will graph an inverted version. So, thus the inverted version. Right? See, it will be AC by 4 into M naught minus AC by 4 into M naught. We can see this is an even symmetric and this is odd symmetric. Right? So let us write or represent once again ST as AC by 2 MT cos 2 pi FCT, or for the time being let us call this signal as S1T and this is S2T. Then correspondingly this will be S1 in the frequency domain and similarly this will be S2F in the frequency domain. Right? So once again writing the same, minus plus AC by 2 M hat T sine 2 pi FC into T, and minus sign represents for upper sideband suppressed carrier and positive sign for negative sign suppressed carrier. Right? So in frequency domain it will be, or here you can ST will be S1T minus plus S2T. In frequency domain it will be S1F plus minus plus S2F. Simply. Now these two graphs, once again draw these graphs here. Let's draw the graph again. This will be S1F. This will be FC minus FC. This will be Fm plus FC. FC minus Fm. Similarly, minus FC plus F and minus FC minus Fm. Drawing the frequency domain curve, or S2F. So it will be same, and for the negative side shifted version, we will have such representation, right? Now we have got two equation for now. For upper sideband, it will be S1F minus S2F, and for the lower sideband, it will be S1F plus S2F. Right? So suppose we want to draw the plot of S1F upper sideband. What we have to do? S1F minus S2F. That means we have to subtract S1. We have to subtract S2 from S1. In that case, you can observe that the lower sidebands will subtract to 0 and the upper sideband will add up to give the upper sideband suppressed carrier signal. So finally, we can represent the upper sideband as, sorry, this is the USB. This will be the case of the USB SC signal. Magnitude will be, so they are adding up C by 2 and not. And for the lower sideband suppressed carrier, as cited as the lower sideband suppressed carrier. This is actually a suppressed carrier. It will have a gain AC by 2 into L naught. So this is how we can obtain with the help of Hilbert transform. We found the M hat T, and just doing the addition and subtraction we can obtain the corresponding USB-C signal or the LSB-SC signal. So the same generation method that we have depicted graphically here, if we write this or if we represent this in terms of block diagram, so this is empty. Now if you look at here, ST, MT is multiplied with a product modulator using a product modulator with a local oscillator FC, and its Hilbert transform is multiplied with the phase shifted carrier signal. MT, product modulator, or simply let's do the product here with a local oscillator. And this will be called the I channel or the in phase channel. Second, we will pass MT through a Hilbert transformer. Let me write here HT, Hilbert transformer, to obtain M hat T, which is then, and this, which is then passed to the phase shifted version, 90 degree phase shifted, 90 90-degree phase shift, then if this is AC cos 2 pi FCT, then after 90-degree phase shift it will be AC sine 2 pi Fc into T, and this is again passed through the modulator. Let's call it AC by 2 because we have in this equation the amplitude that we have taken, that is AC by 2, and then call it as, this part is called the Q channel. Because we are applying a 90-degree phase shift, and then finally call this as S1T and call the Q channel as S2T. Just this will be plus, and minus sign will be for the LSP, and plus sign, minus sign will be the upper side band suppressed carrier, and positive sign will be for the lower sideband suppressed carrier. This is how do we generate SSP, SC. This method of generation is called the phase discrimination method. For SSP, SC generation. This was one method. The other method that we can talk about is the frequency discrimination. This is phase discrimination, and this method is called frequency discrimination. Frequency discrimination method for SSP, single sideband suppressed carrier generation. What we are doing here, let's understand with the help of block diagram. This is our message signal supplied with the local oscillator or the carrier signal. Call it CT. And then pass through a band pass filter. To obtain the SSB SC. This is the band pass filter. Once again, there will be two conditions. So, what we are doing here is, graphically, if you observe it, so let's say This is our baseband signal. What we are doing? We are multiplying with the product modulator. This is multiplying this signal with the frequency Fc. Let's call it as S dash T, and this is as St. Then the signal that we obtain will be, or let me draw the same in a fresh manner. The signal that we will obtain in frequency domain S dash F will be C minus Fc, Fc plus Fm, Fc minus Fm, minus Fc plus Fm, and this is minus Fc minus Fm. So it's M naught by 2. Right. Now, what we are doing after the multiplication, we are passing it through a band pass filter. Now, suppose we are interested in passing the upper sideband, then we will apply a band pass filter whose bandwidth will be Fc plus Fm minus Fc equals to Fm for the upper sideband suppressed carrier. And suppose this is for, now this is for the upper sideband. Same if you want to do for the lower sideband, we will apply a band pass filter. Of course, its bandwidth will be Fm. Now the problem here is that, let me write it with a statement. It is very difficult or impossible let me write. We cannot design an abruptly sharp band pass filter. What the limitation for this method is about the designing of the band pass filter. Let me draw it again. Let's say we are interested in transferring the upper sideband. Let me first Let's say this is for the upper sideband suppressed carrier. Then we would require a band pass filter that would only pass the upper sideband of the signal. So let's say now before that let me define let me have a brief discussion on the band pass filter. Let's say in frequency domain we represent a band pass signal as now this is a representation for a bandpass signal. Let's say A0 is the maximum gain of the filter. Let's say Fi is called the midband frequency. Now, the purpose of the bandpass filter is to pass certain bandwidth of signals through it and reject the signal that are not lying in its passband. The set of such signals are called the stop band, the part of the spectrum which is not transmitted by the filter is known as the stop band. So this region is called the stop band region. Similarly, on the right hand side, this is the stop band. And the frequency at which the gain reduces to 1 by root 2, or you can say 0.707 times of A0, then this frequency, let's call it as F1, F2. Then F1 and F2 are known as 3 decibel 3 dB frequency. Because in terms of decibels, when the maximum gain of the filter drops to 0.70 times drops by 1 by root 2 times, by a factor of 1 by root 2, then that drop has a value around 3 decibels. That is why these frequencies F1 and F2 are called the 3 dB frequencies. Now, and the region between F1 and F2 is known as the pass band. And the region in between the stop band and the pass band is called the transition band. So as you can see, for this equation, for this signal, if we apply, let's say this is Fc. So if we are interested to transmit the upper sideband, so if we apply a band pass filter, so what will happen? This is our band pass filter. Then you can see it will accommodate, or if you see here this side, accommodate some undesired signals, frequencies. So that is the problem with, or not the problem, let us call it as the limitation. That is the limitation with the frequency discrimination method, is that we can not design an abruptly sharp band pass filter. Because if we go with this method, it will accommodate some undesired frequency which are called noise. Then the signal will suffer noise distortion or signal distortion. So for this purpose, the condition to use this method is that there must be, suppose this is our message signal, then for the lower sideband, between the lower sideband and the upper sideband, there must be certain energy gap. What will happen? This energy gap will fulfill the transition band that is there in the band pass filter. And now if you apply the band pass filter here, then you can see it will not overlap, no overlapping with the lower sideband.